Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, I make videos for NFL. All these videos that get posted on the subreddit at DF Sports. I make updates throughout the day with all the news that comes out. Anything you need, up to lock, you can ask me questions. Pretty much anything. People do write-ups here. Bush posts a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of trolling that's going on here. It's just a great place to be. So this will be linked down below. I'll reply to you up to lock. Anything you need. That'll be down there as well. If you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter right here or Reddit Messenger. So let's go over my lineup from tonight. And if you are interested in joining my Discord where I give you guys prize picks, plays, cores for the main slate, night slate content, anything you need, my Discord link will be down below. So this is my sixth straight day caching. It's been phenomenal. My core today absolutely nuked it. Luca core play at negative ownership with the team to himself. Dante Exum core play smash. Austin Reeves core play smash. Derek Lively smash. Massive foul trouble though, unfortunately, but just a great day overall. Could have been even better if this late game stayed close. I also was debating going Reddish or going Prince over Reddish. If I did that, man, it would have been a great night. But unfortunately, went Reddish. But going to be a great night overall. Hopefully, you guys had a good night as well. Also went 6-1 on Prize Picks today. We went um, 5-1 yesterday. I think 5-1 yesterday. My YouTube plays went 3-1 yesterday. 6-1 today. It's just been phenomenal. Yeah. I posted my prize picks video already for tomorrow. And then if you want more in-depth stuff, my Discord link is down below. All right, let's go over the slate. So Zion is questionable. Really, really good spot here going up against Washington. If Zion is in, I still like these main guys in a good spot. Zion at 7-9, his minutes haven't been great, so I'd be a little bit careful there. Definitely a little bit worried that he's has a questionable tag as well, but would still be firmly in play for tournaments for me. Brendan Ingram CD I think would be solid plays. Jonas Valanciunas, he should just be able to feast here up against Daniel Gafford and Mike Muscala. Minutes up of late, I like him for tournaments. Not going to get to anyone else if Zion is in, though. But if Zion is out, that does change some things. Then I really like Ingram. CD would be a really good play. I already like Jonas. Herb Jones gets a boost. He would be very safe. You could even consider guys like Trey Murphy, Alvarado. They would be playable. There would just be a decent amount to like here. Moving on to Washington. So not the best spot here. Everyone's just a tournament play for me. If Gafford's out, you can go to Mike Muscala if they start him, but they're running a really deep rotation. They're playing some Gallinari. I even think Jared Butler got some run. It's just really disgusting. Like, if Gafford's out, you can play Muscala. He started at the 5, played 20 minutes. He would be a fine value. Gallo will get some backup 5. He played 11 minutes. I don't know if I'd go there. Koulibaly is overpriced. Tyus Jones is priced right. The main guys seem priced right. Jordan Poole, I guess, would be my favorite of the main guys just because he's 6.3K and does have a ceiling. But there's really not much here, guys, on the Washington side. So this game, definitely, I do like some things. So Joel Embiid at the top, one of my favorite spend-ups on the slate. I absolutely love Joel Embiid here going up against Detroit. If they throw Isaiah Stewart on him, he should be able to feast. If they go with like if they change the lineup and go with bigger or throw anyone on him, I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him here. I would expect they go with that same starting lineup of Oscar Thompson and Isaiah Stewart at the 5, so he should be able to feast here. I think he looks really good. We know Tyrese Maxey absolutely thrives in these types of matchups. Also going to play huge minutes as well. I think he's a solid tournament play as well. Tobias Harris and Melton seem priced right, but fine filler plays to me. Kelly Oubre not playing enough minutes right now for me to go to him. And I don't think we need to consider any of this value. Moving on to Detroit. So Duran, Bagley out. So assuming they go with that same starting lineup of Oscar Thompson and Isaiah Stewart at the 5, the guy that stands out to me the most is Oscar Thompson. I was absolutely shocked that he was low owned last slate. He was a core play for me last slate. Played 33 minutes. I want to say he got into foul trouble and the game was blowing out as well, but would have played more. If he starts again, I really like Oscar Thompson at 5'9". You can just go back. He was like a 7K player in the starting lineup playing huge minutes. We know he's a good rebounder, guy that can stuff his stat sheet. He's still too cheap if he does end up in the starting lineup. So if he does, I really like Oscar Thompson. Bojan, I think, is fine at 6'9". Cade is playable for tournaments. Going to play huge minutes. He's their go-to guy. He's fine. I think he's priced right, though. Killian Hayes, Ivy, these two guys are basically splitting guard duties. They're I guess going with the hot hand between each of them. Both playable in large field tournaments for me. And then I don't think I'll be going to anyone else. Keep an eye on if they switch up the starting lineup there. I guess they could. Trae Young probable. DeAndre Hunter is questionable. We'll go over it both ways. If Trae's in, Trae, just a fine contrarian spin up for me. I think DeJounte's priced right. Bogdan would be overpriced. Capella, Kongwu, they'll split the center minutes. Prefer Kongwu to Capella. Sadiq Bey would be priced right. DeAndre Hunter would be priced right. But Hunter out does change some things. So something I want to note with Hunter out last game, they played Okongwu and Capella alongside each other pretty much almost the whole fourth. I don't think a lot of people are going to notice this. And this is what you can do. You can look at rotations after each game. So if Hunter is out and they play alongside each other again, then yeah, if Capella's going to get 30 minutes, then I like him. And if Okongwu is going to get 30 minutes, I like him too. So keep an eye on that. I think that's something definitely interesting. And then Sadiq Bey would get a minutes bump. He played 40 minutes. He would be a very, very safe play in the mid-range. Bogdan will have to play more. He would be fine. I think I prefer the price point on Bey, though. And then the main guys would just be okay. I'm not going to play Garrison Matthews. There's just no way. Moving on to Toronto. So I think there's a decent amount to like here too, going up against Atlanta. Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, I think are both solid plays in the mid-range. These two guys are going to lead their team offensively, going to lead their team in minutes. They're both going to stuff the stat sheet. I think both look like pretty good plays to me. Don't have a lean on which one I like more. I guess Scotty straight up, Siakam point per dollar, it's close. Dennis Schroeder at 6K, I definitely have some interest in as well. I think he's getting to the price point in a good spot where I like him. Stuffing the stat sheet, averaging a decent amount of potential assists per game. He has the ball in his hands a decent amount, playing decent minutes as well. So I think Schroeder is solid too. OG also playing huge minutes. I think he's very, very safe. He's had some big games of late. I think he'll go a bit over-owned because of it, but he's fine. Jakob Poeltl, Precious, these two guys kind of splitting the center minutes. Hard to get to either of them. And then Gary Trent will play low 20s minutes off the bench. Has to hit his shots to reach value, but a fair value. Moving on to Charlotte. So not the best spot here for the Charlotte guys, but with LaMelo out, we know where the offense is going. It's Terry Rozier and get out of the way. Him, Miles Bridges, they're playing huge minutes right now. I'm okay with both for tournaments. Not priorities, but both fine options. And then we'll keep an eye on Mark Williams. He is doubtful if it's going to be a bump to Miller, Washington, Nick Richards, all be solid plays. Nick Richards has played 26, 26, 28 minutes. Solid point per minute. I would say this game's a bit of an outlier, but price is right, but he'd be a fine 2 solid play. And then Brandon Miller gets a bump as well. He'll be asked to play huge minutes. I think he's pretty safe. And then Hayward had a big game last game. He would be a fine play, but tough spot here. More all just tournament / contrarian plays to me. On to Miami, so Bam, Hero, all going to be out still. So Butler, it's a really good spot. I like him as a contrarian spin up. It's just the floor is so low for him. It's absolutely wild. But if you have a game where he absolutely takes over, he has this type of ceiling. So I have interest in Butler for tournaments going up against Charlotte. Caleb Martin's come into his own like the playoffs last year. Also playing huge minutes. I think he's a fine play. Jack has gotten into foul trouble last game. A fair play. I think I prefer Caleb Martin. Kyle Lowry, playable. Don't love it though. And then Orlando and Kevin Love, they're splitting the center minutes. Both of them don't really stand out to me. It's kind of like at their respective price points. I think both are just fine. I think I prefer Love to Robinson at their price points. And then Jay Rich will probably play high 20s minutes off the bench. A fair value, but priced right. Did see a little bit of Thomas Bryant in the rotation last game, but can't play him. All right, Lakers, AD and LeBron, their status is up in the air, assuming both play. I think, it's an okay spot. I think AD and LeBron are fine spin-ups. I think I prefer others on this slate. D'Lo, Reeves, now at their price points, would just be contrarian options to me. Reddish, priced right. Christian Wood didn't even play tonight. If Vanderbilt's out, I do like Rui, though. He played 30 minutes tonight. Good point per minute guy, so I'd be fine with Rui. I think he'd be solid if Vanderbilt's out. Prince, I think, is a fine value. Played huge minutes. Would like him more with Vanderbilt out as well. And then we'll monitor the status of Anthony Davis and LeBron. If Anthony Davis is out, then I really like LeBron. D'Lo, Reeves get a bump. They would be solid. Rui, I would really like for value. Prince would be a solid value. Now, if, LeBron's out, then Anthony Davis I really, really like. Then Rui Hashimura I really, really like. Then D'Lo, Reeves would both be solid. There would be a decent amount to like here. Moving on to the Spurs. So Spurs keep switching up their starting lineup. I do want to say Sochan moved back into the starting lineup. Yeah, it was Victor Wembanyama at the 5, Sochan Branham, Keldon, and Sell. So Wemby, if they're going to continue to start him at the 5, his floor pass ceiling goes way up. He's also been playing more minutes of late, so I like him for tournaments. Keldon, Vassell, they're priced right to me. Zach Collins is overpriced. Sochan's been really, really bad, but playing huge minutes. I think he's a fine contrarian play now that the price point is down. And then Branham's been starting, played 34 minutes last game. I think he is a fair value. Don't think I'll be touching anyone else though. Let's move on to the Pacers. Pretty high total game here. Two teams that play pretty decently fast. So Halliburton, I like for tournaments. I think everyone's going to go to like Joel Embiid. I think everyone's going to go to what else? Like Giannis in a good spot. So Halliburton might get lost in the sauce here. So I think Halliburton's a good contrarian spend up for me. Don't like the spot for Miles Turner. And then the wings, I just have no idea what to do here. You saw Mathurin have a huge game last game. I think he's priced right. They're just going to go with the hot hand. So I have no idea what to do for tournaments here. Isaiah Jackson's been in the rotation. If he plays 17 minutes again, he's a fair value. And I'm not touching anyone else. On to Milwaukee, so it's a really good spot for Giannis. Him and Bede, my two favorite spin ups on the slate, also playing huge minutes as well, which is what I like this year compared to last year. He wasn't playing huge minutes last year in the beginning of the year, and now he is. So I really like Giannis here. I actually love Giannis. Him and Bede, I really like. Dame, I think, is priced right. Middleton should play around 30 minutes. We'll keep an eye out on if they're going to uptick his minutes. Like if I knew he was going to play, 30 plus to like 33, 34, then I'd like him at this price point. But just keep an eye on that if we'll see an uptick there. Brook Lopez is 6'4". I want to say I had a good game up against the Pacers last time. I think he's priced right. And then I don't think I'll be touching guys like Beasley, Portis on this type of slate or the value. Moving on to Memphis. Keep an eye on the starting lineup here. They moved Jaren Jackson Jr. to the 5. They also started Santi Aldama, I want to say. I can just take a look. Pretty sure that's what happened, but Aldama didn't really play much. I don't think he got into foul trouble either. But assuming we do get the same starting lineup here, I mean, it's hard to not like Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5. Played 42 minutes. His rates go way, way up at the 5. Now, it might be a bit over-owned because of last game. We know he's foul-prone as well. So just be a little bit careful there. Like, if he's popular, he's someone I don't want to play when he's popular just because the risk with foul trouble is definitely really high with him. But if he does start at the 5 again, obviously, I do like some Jaren Jackson Jr. I think Bane's a fine play. Tough spot going up against Houston. Aldama started, didn't play much. They're just doing dumb stuff with the rotation outside of Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr., so it's tough to really gauge what they're going to do. I guess David Roddy is pretty safe, played 29 minutes. He's been playing around 30 minutes close to every game, so I think he's a fair value. And then they're dusting off Vince Williams. I don't know what they're doing here, man. I really don't. I think I'm only considering Bane, Jaren, Santi as a tournament play, and maybe David Roddy. They're not playing Rose enough for me to consider him, so it's just tough. Tough spot for Sengun. More of a contrarian play for me. I think I prefer Fred VanVleet, who's playing 40 plus minutes a game right now. He's going to stuff the stat sheet. I think he's a pretty safe play. So I like Fred. Jalen's priced right. Jabari's priced right. Dylan Brooks is an okay value. It just comes down to if he hits his shots or not. And then we'll keep an eye on Tari Eason News. If he plays, I think he's a reasonable value. Minutes have been trending up of late. They said Amen wasn't on a limit last game. He just didn't play. So yeah, it's going to wrap it up for Houston. Let's move on to the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson out. We have quickly questionable. So, good spot up against Utah. I think Randall and Brunson both look good. Both going to play huge minutes. Both going to stuff the stat sheet. I think both are pretty good plays. Jericho Sims started last game. If he starts again, I think he's a fine value. Hardenstein will get the backup. He played 27 minutes. Reasonable play at 5K. If Quickly's out, then you're going to get a bump to like RJ Barrett, Josh Hart, Dante. I would prefer Hart between Dante. Hart played 31 minutes off the bench. Stat sheet stuffer. He'd be a solid play. Dante would be playable, but the guy I would really like here is RJ Barrett. He just gets a minutes bump. Like his minutes are much more secure when Quickly's off or out. So That was the issue prior. Like, he would just get benched randomly when he's playing bad, but I feel his minutes are a bit safer when Quickly's out. So the guy I would like quite a bit is RJ Barrett at 6'1", and Josh Hart, and Brunson and Randall in a good spot as well. Quentin Grimes, if Quickly's out, is playable as well. And then you saw a little bit of Miles McBride. I don't think I'd go there, though. And yeah, Knicks look pretty good tomorrow. Moving on to Utah. So we have Markkanen questionable. We have John Collins questionable. We have Walker Kessler questionable. We have Clarkson out. So with Clarkson out in a tough spot, if everyone's in, I don't think I'll be clicking any of these Utah guys outside of possibly like a Keontae George, who's crushed last game in a blowout. He did well this game in a blowout. So I don't think I'll be touching pretty much anyone unless they start Walker Kessler. If they start Walker Kessler again, I do like him. Good point per minute guy, played 31 minutes. I believe he started this game. We do have Mitchell Robinson out, so it's an easier matchup. So yeah, if they start Walker Kessler at the 5, I do like me some Walker Kessler. If Walker Kessler is out and we get the same starting lineup, like a Olynyk, then Olynyk, you're at 7. These two guys will get they didn't even split the full 48. Olynyk only played 21. He'd be fine for tournaments. If I knew he played 30 plus minutes, I would like him a lot. But after last game, they didn't. They're just doing some really disgusting stuff with this rotation. So I'm hoping Walker Kessler at least plays because I would like Walker Kessler. And then if like assuming John Collins and Walker Kessler are out with the bigs, so Olynyk and you're at 7. If Collins is in, then we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. Like if they start John Collins at the 5, then I definitely have some interest in John Collins, and then I'd be off Olynyk. I'd be off here at 7. It's just kind of a wait and see approach for me right now. Moving on to Brooklyn, not much here. Bridges, Dinwiddie, Cam Thomas, Nick are all priced right. Claxton not playing enough minutes for me to go to him right now. I'm not going to be touching any of the value here. So, I don't think I saw anything on the main 3 status for tomorrow. I don't think I've seen anything. So, looks like we could have everyone back. Kevin Durant's day-to-day. Now it's a back-to-back, so I guess we'll monitor Beal. It's just hard to say right now. If everyone's healthy, I don't like much. Probably just to stay away from me. If we get a situation where like Beal and Durant are out, then obviously Booker looks like one of the best or one of the better spend-ups on the slate. And then we could have interesting guys like Eric Gordon. We do have a Koji out. If Metu starts again, I like Metu quite a bit for value. He would stand out as one of the better value plays on the slate if he does start. Like I said, we have a Koji who got injured tonight. We'll see if he's out. Just pretty disgusting. I believe Eric Gordon started the second half for him, but we'll just monitor it. If they do start Metu again, I do like Metu quite a bit for value. And then I'll make updates on Reddit when we do get this news on the main 3. So hopefully you guys had a good night tonight, and I will talk to you all in the next one.